what is it I'm really wanting? What am I wanting to experience? And it feels as simple as magic. I'm wanting to experience the magic of life. I was just sitting by a river with my feet in it and watching it flow and feeling some of that magic, and looking up into the trees and seeing the leaves flutter in the wind and feeling it again, and then also feeling that I've experienced it so much more potently than this. And then I thought, what opens me to experience it more fully? How is it that I do more often experience this fullness of life? It's like experiencing life as poetry. And it's interesting too, because I started writing poetry more in the last year or two. It's like in flow with that essence of magic, harmony, life force. And what I thought was it's grief that opens me. That if I have to point to something of what has allowed me to experience a fullness, a more open-hearted relationship with myself, with life, with other people, the magic that draws in these incredible beings into my world, I point to grief. I point to all the time I spend emptying out that density and inviting in presence, spirit, source, God, love. And one thing that seems to open the door for grief is honesty. That's another thing I point to so often. That when I honestly express, like, it's not necessarily grief, but maybe it's its own separate category. That's another thing that seems to just play this alchemical role in integration. To where I look around and I feel the breeze and I see the trees and I look at the river and I'm just like, this is fucking magic. It feels that grief and honesty are these magical tools that that dissolve what exists between me and that experience of magic. And it feels as if we're being invited into deeper grief during this time. With all this isolation, there's so much opportunity to grieve. And I notice myself in a lot of potentially addictive patterns, compulsive behaviors that take me away from grief in moments, and in other moments I seem to commune with it and surrender to the process and be available. Same thing with honesty. In some moments I feel myself holding back, feeling hesitant, not sure if I want to reveal things. In other moments there's more of a clarity and I speak, or if something invites the risk. I think some of it has to do with connecting more and more with people that all of me feels safe with. All of me feels welcome, so that there's nothing that needs to be hidden. And my fears about it leading to disconnection are fading because I keep connecting with people that my honesty seems to draw them closer, create more intimacy. So, those are some of my thoughts on returning to the magic of life, allowing ourselves to grieve, welcoming that, seeing it as a blessing, as an ally to our expansive remembering of love. and being honest as we feel available to be, and attuning to our intuition. Is this the moment? Is this the person to be honest with? Is this the... Maybe in the end, none of that matters, but that's something I seem to do. To trust my hesitation in some way. Like, okay, I don't know why it's here, but I'm going to wait. And sometimes within the hesitation, I find a yes and I go for it. Thanks for joining me.